They are still in your life. Maybe you cannot leave yet. Maybe they are your co-parent, your parent, your boss, someone you share a building with, someone you share children with, someone whose presence in your life cannot be ended with a single decision, no matter how much you want it to be. And every time you interact with them, every time you are in the same room, every time you have to respond to a message, every time you have to sit across from them in a conversation you did not choose, something happens to you. Your heart rate changes. Your stomach tightens. Some part of you braces for impact before a word has even been spoken. Because you know how this works now. You know what they are doing. You have the language for it. You understand the dynamic. And it does not matter. Because knowing what they are doing and knowing how to stop reacting to it are two completely different things. This video is about the second one. About a method so simple it sounds like it cannot work. And so powerful that narcissists who have studied you, who know exactly which button produces which response, have no idea what to do when you use it. It is called the gray rock method. And by the end of this video, you are going to understand not just what it is, but exactly why it works at the level of a narcissist's psychology. You are going to understand the specific moments it applies to. You are going to hear what happens inside a narcissist when you use it, and what to expect so nothing catches you off guard. And you are going to hear the one thing about grey rocking that nobody prepares you for. The thing that is harder than the method itself. Stay until the end, because that last part is the most important one. Let me start with the moment you will recognize. They say something. It does not matter what exactly. Maybe it is a jab disguised as a comment. Maybe it is a question that contains an insult inside it. Maybe it is a version of events that sounds nothing like what happened. Maybe it is just a tone, a specific quality in how they speak to you, that you have learned to read as the beginning of something. And before your mind has made any decision, before you have consciously chosen anything, you are already responding, defending yourself, explaining, correcting the record, trying to make them see, getting angry, getting upset, saying something you will spend the next 3 days wishing you had not said. And they, quietly, without showing it, have exactly what they came for. Not the argument itself, what the argument produces. Your energy, your attention, your emotional investment. Your proof that they still have access to something in you that matters. That is what they wanted. And you just gave it to them. Not because you're weak, because you're human. And you were responding to something that was specifically designed to produce exactly the response you gave. Here is what you need to understand about how a narcissist operates. A narcissist's primary need is not love, not connection, not even control exactly. It is supply. Narcissistic supply is the emotional energy they extract from the people around them. Attention. Reaction. The proof of their own significance reflected back through your response to them. And here is the critical thing. The supply does not have to be positive. Your anger feeds them as well as your admiration. Your distress is as useful to them as your compliance. Your tears are supply. Your arguments are supply. Your attempts to make them understand. Every patient, exhausted, genuine effort to reach them. That is supply. Any emotional response from you tells them the same thing. You still matter to me. You still have access to something in me that you can move. And they will continue doing what produces that response. Because it works. Now, here is where Grey Rock comes in. The Grey Rock method was not created in academic circles or by a famous psychologist. It actually emerged from the real-life experiences of abuse survivors. And it is built on one simple understanding. If supply is what they want, the emotional reaction, the proof of significance, then the most powerful thing you can do is become someone from whom supply cannot be extracted. Not through anger, not through distance or coldness, through becoming, in every interaction, as emotionally unremarkable as a grey rock. Flat, calm, unresponsive, giving nothing. Not dramatically, not obviously, just quietly, consistently, nothing. Short answers, neutral tone, no emotional charge, no personal information, no reaction to the provocations, no defense of yourself, no correction of the record, just nothing that feeds the machine. When you stop having these reactions, it breaks the loop and threatens their narrative. The behaviors that previously produced attention, control, or emotional engagement suddenly produce nothing. And a narcissist who cannot produce a reaction from you is a narcissist who has temporarily lost access to their supply. Now let me show you exactly what this looks like in practice. Because understanding the concept and knowing what to actually do in the specific moment are two different things. The first application is responding to provocative statements. They say something designed to provoke, an accusation, a jab, a rewriting of history, a comment that is technically about something neutral but contains a blade inside it. The old response, the human response, the one you have been trained into, is to engage, to defend, to correct, to explain. The Grey Rock response is different. It sounds like this. Okay, I see. Noted. One word. Neutral tone. Zero emotional charge. Eyes slightly unfocused. Not looking away dramatically, just not fully engaged. And then silence. No follow-up. No explanation. No defense. Just a grey rock. The second application is responding to questions designed to extract information. A narcissist uses personal information as ammunition. The more they know about your emotional state, your fears, your vulnerabilities, your plans, the more precisely they can calibrate the next provocation. When they ask questions, even questions that sound casual, even questions that seem harmless, they are often gathering material. The gray rock response to questions is short, factual, and gives nothing. How are you doing? Fine. What are you up to this weekend? Just some things. Are you seeing someone? Nothing to share. No elaboration, no warmth, no reciprocal question that opens a conversation. Just the minimum required and then silence. You are not rude. You are not cold dramatically. You are simply unremarkable. The third application is in conflict. They escalate. They accuse. They bring up the past. They raise their voice or lower it to something more dangerous. The gray rock response to escalation is the hardest one, because something in your nervous system is screaming to respond, to defend yourself, to correct the record, to make them understand. And gray rock says, do not. Not because they are right, because defending yourself is supply. Your defense tells them, what you say about me matters enough for me to respond to it. The gray rock response to accusation is not agreement. It is not silence exactly. It is something that sounds like this. I hear you. That is your view. Okay? And then, nothing. No elaboration, no defense, no emotion. Just a gray rock that the accusation slides off of. Now I need to stop here and tell you something directly, because I know what is happening inside you right now. You are thinking, but I need to defend myself. If I say nothing, they will think they are right. I cannot just let them say things about me and not respond. I need to tell you something about that feeling. The need to defend yourself, the urgent, almost physical need to correct the record, to make them see, to not let something false stand unchallenged. That is not about them. That is about you. It is about your own need to not have something untrue said about you without response. And it is completely understandable. But here is the reality. Defending yourself to a narcissist does not result in them changing their view. It results in more material for them to work with. Every time you explain yourself, you hand them information. Every time you correct the record, you show them where you are sensitive. Every time you argue, you demonstrate that they still have the ability to pull you into their world. The defense is not for them. It was never for them. Defending yourself to a narcissist is supply in the shape of a response. Gray rock does not require you to believe what they say. It just requires you to stop showing them that you care what they say, which is a very different thing. Now, here's what happens inside a narcissist when you gray rock them. And I need to prepare you for this, because if you do not know what is coming, it will feel like the method is failing when it is actually working. When someone is accustomed to getting a reaction, they may initially escalate when that reaction disappears. In psychology, this is known as an extinction burst. Behavior temporarily intensifies before decreasing. This is predictable. It is expected. It is the system trying to restore what was working before. They will push harder. They will find new angles. They will escalate the provocation because the old provocation stopped producing results. Hold the gray rock through the extinction burst, because the burst ends. And when it ends, when they have tried everything and received nothing, something happens. The interaction becomes unrewarding, and people, even narcissists, move away from things that consistently produce no reward. Not always immediately, not always permanently, but the pattern of engagement changes, because you changed what engagement with you produces.
Now, here is the hardest part. The part nobody prepares you for. And this is what I promised at the beginning. Gray rocking is not a method that you use once. It is something you have to maintain every time, in every interaction, without breaks, without the satisfaction of letting them know it is a strategy. Because the moment they see the strategy, the moment you do it too visibly, too obviously, too dramatically, it becomes a new form of engagement. The gray rock has to look like you are simply not very interesting right now. Not distant, not cold, not performing a technique, just unremarkable. And that requires something that the method itself does not address directly. It requires you to do the internal work separately. Because gray rock manages the outside, it does not manage the inside. On the inside, the anger is still there. The grief is still there. The very real experience of being in contact with someone who caused you genuine harm and having to act as if they are simply a mildly boring interaction. That is a specific kind of exhausting. Gray rocking is especially helpful with narcissistic people because they rely on emotional supply, attention, reactions, intensity, drama, praise, and even outrage. When you stop reacting, you disrupt their reinforcement cycle. But disrupting their cycle on the outside requires you to process your cycle somewhere else. With a therapist, with people who are safe, in writing, in private, somewhere that is not the interaction. Because if the emotion does not go somewhere, it will eventually come out in the interaction. And it only takes one crack. One moment where the gray rock breaks and the real emotional response comes through for them to know that the door is still there. Gray rock on the outside, process on the inside. Both are required. Now, what actually helps you sustain this? The first thing is preparing before interactions. Not just knowing the method, actually preparing your nervous system before you walk into contact with them. This might look like taking 3 deliberate breaths before you open the message, before you walk into the room, before you answer the phone. Not to perform calm, to actually produce a few seconds of physiological shift that gives you enough distance to choose your response rather than react automatically. Those seconds are where gray rock lives. The second thing is having a phrase ready. One phrase that is gray rock compatible that you can deploy automatically when you are not sure what else to do. Something like, "I hear you," or "Noted," or "I will think about that." Not agreement, not engagement, just a neutral placeholder that gives nothing and requires nothing more. Having it ready means you do not have to generate it in the moment when your nervous system is activated and your capacity for creative response is at its lowest. The third thing is tracking what triggers you specifically. Because a narcissist who has known you a long time has a map of your specific triggers. They know which accusation produces which response, which topic breaks the gray rock, which specific angle gets through. Understanding your own map, knowing in advance that topic A or accusation B is going to be harder to gray rock than others, lets you prepare specifically for those. Not to be perfect in them, to be less surprised. The fourth thing is what you do after. Because gray rock does not mean you do not feel it. It means you do not show it in the interaction. After the interaction, give yourself somewhere for it to go. Name what happened. Name how it felt. Let the anger or the grief or the exhaustion exist somewhere that is not suppression. Suppression is not gray rock. Gray rock is a surface strategy. What you feel underneath it
still needs to be processed. And now, the thing I promised you at the beginning. The thing nobody says about gray rock. Here it is. Gray rock is not the goal. Gray rock is a bridge.
It is the method that protects you while you are still in the situation, that keeps you from handing over more of yourself while you are building towards something more permanent. The goal is not to become a gray rock in your own life. The goal is to protect yourself enough that you can build, slowly, steadily, toward a situation where the gray rock is no longer required, where they are no longer in your life in a way that requires managing, where the interactions you have are chosen ones, with people who do not require a strategy to survive. Gray rock gives you back something while you are still inside the situation. It gives you back the sense that you have a response available, that you are not at the mercy of their ability to provoke you, that something in your reaction is yours to choose. That sense, small as it might feel, is not nothing. It is the beginning of something. And the beginning of something, in a situation that has felt for a very long time like nothing will ever change, is everything. If this video gave you a tool you needed today, share it with one person who is still in contact and has no idea how to protect themselves in the interactions they cannot avoid. They deserve to know the gray rock exists. Subscribe, because this channel exists to give you not just the understanding of what happened, but the tools for what to do while you are still inside it. I will see you in the next one.